Welcome back. Still tuned in to Salam Media. We're almost 2 minutes before the top of the hour, 9 a.m. And right now we'll be chatting to Ephraim Mkali Banda. He's a security journalist out of Malawi, our neighbors. And really, really tragic news coming out of Malawi. The vice president and 9 others confirmed dead after the plane wreckage was found. And Ephraim Mkali Banda will be chatting to us briefly about that. Ephraim, thank you so much for joining us on Salam Media. Really, really tragic news coming out of Malawi. If you can start by giving us an overview, maybe for those that have not been following, what happened? What happened? To that plane crash that involved Vice President Saulos Chilima and 9 others.
Thank you so much. It is indeed true that yesterday we have been following up the issue on what had really transpired with the accident that happened of the plane that was carrying the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Saulos Chilima, and other members who were in that plane. So the plane was found in Tungwa Forest, in Tungwa Hills, around the district of Mzimba and in the forest of Chikangawa. It's where it was found. And all people who were on board were found dead, and the President of the Republic of Malawi announced the death. And currently what is happening, we were told that due to bad weather, that was the main reason that made the plane to crash. So that's, we can talk about as of now, the reasons that were been given by the authorities from the government that the plane was crashed due to bad weather.
And just still sticking with that, the fact that bad weather can be attributed to the crashing of that plane carrying the vice president. What are the standard protocols for flights in such weather conditions, and were they adequately followed in this instance from what you are gathering?
Come again?
I want us to touch a bit on, the standard protocols for flights in such weather conditions, and if maybe they were adequately followed in this instance, which resulted, to that plane carrying the Deputy President Saulos Chilima and 9 others ultimately crashing.
Actually, what really happened is like that the plane, when it was leaving at Lilongwe going to Mzuzu, the weather from Lilongwe and Mzuzu is quite a bit different. So that might be the reasons that when the plane was leaving in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi, going to Mzuzu, understand that he was going to attend a burial ceremony of one of the renowned seasoned lawyers, and who was the former Minister of Justice and Constitution here in Malawi. So, the areas where this plane was passing, indeed it was tragic because it was so much, there was cloudy, a fog. So I think the pilot failed to control plane, and they were told to return to Lilongwe, to land in Lilongwe. So in the process that they were going to Lilongwe, it's when that crash occurred. So that's what I can say right away now.
And let's touch a bit on the search and rescue operations. If you can maybe just describe to our listeners how challenging the terrain was, and also the weather again, in locating the wreckage of the vice president and the wreckage of the plane.
Yeah, in fact, it's just a matter of that the officers or the responsible people who were conducting the search, they were using it's just a local way of searching the plane, because people were just they were using information from the communities that are surrounding the areas of the forests, Chikangawa forest. So there was not that much of that they could have detected the plane where it is. just because it was done manually. There was no technology that was used until yesterday when a team from the University of Technology came with the drones. It's when now they search. We saw people starting searching the plane or locating the plane using the drones. But again, that's at a certain time proved futile because it's another person, just a villager, who gave correct information that directed the team that was searching to identify the plane where it was. So it looks as a country there is need to have proper emergency issues and to beef up the rescuing team and to beef up the searching department that we have. You understand, we have got the Marine Department, we have got the Air Parachute Battalion, which is the part of MDF that they use the aircraft. So we were expecting that this department, the Parachute Battalion, to have to be well equipped to in such scenarios, in such issues that when are happening. I think this should be a lesson for the country.
And you know, there are also 9 others you know, that have unfortunately perished from this you know, accident. Do we know if there were any other officials who were, you know, in this you know, airplane you know, accident with the vice president? Do we know of the 9 others? Who are they? What, you know, government roles were they playing, or these were just his aides that were around the vice president?
You know, indeed, those 9 that were there, they were going on the president, the vice president, to the funeral, and there were others. They were his bodyguards and his team, the team that supports the vice president whenever he conducts his duties and whenever he does and wherever he goes. So it was a team indeed for the vice president, and one of the people who died again there on this crash was the former wife, the former first lady of this country, who was the wife for the former president, Dr. Bakili Muluzi. She also faced the tragedy there, and she died on the spot. So indeed, it's really a loss, and we are talking of 3 major who were the soldiers, and these are it's a very big rank in the MGF, in the military. We are talking of majors here, and we are talking one of them was a pilot who was flying this plane.
Really, really tragic news there. And you know, just you know, give us a bit of insight on you know, Vice President Saulos Chilima and you know, his legacy. What role you know, did he play in you know, Malawian politics? What can you give us you know, information about him and you know, all that he's done for the country, and just how much of a loss he'll be to the people of Malawi and the government in that part of the world?
Yeah, indeed, it's true. Chilima was one of the courageous. You know, having his background that is coming from the private sector. He came from the private sector, coming to politics, and he was being picked by Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, who was also the president of this Republic of Malawi, the former president, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, to be the running mate in the elections, whereby indeed they won. And he was a man who is being said to do well when the Airtel company in Malawi, he was heading the Airtel company in Malawi, and the company was doing great. And he helped the country so much. And in coming to politics with him, it was really very good. And he managed to change the landslide of politics in Malawi, where we saw that his party, he parted ways with the former president, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, and he formed his own party, UTM. And later that party, he contested again in the elections that the court nullified the results. And then he made a coalition with the Dr. Saulos, Dr. Chakwera. So He has been a person who was the vice president to. He has been the vice president to two presidents. So he left indeed. He has indeed left a legacy, and he was a man with his own stand. He couldn't be just shaken, and he was a person who, when he goes into to villages, or when he goes for the rallies, people indeed, he could pull up the crowd of people, and people would have listened to him. So indeed, it's a great loss for the country.
And just lastly, your closing remarks. What do you believe are the key takeaways from this tragic event for both the Malawian government and its citizens after this very, very tragic loss of the vice president?
Come again.
I just wanted to get some of the key takeaways from this tragic event, from both the Malawian government and its citizens. What are the key takeaways from this accident, holistically, looking at it after it has transpired?
Yeah, indeed, it's real, because when we're talking of in terms of government, the government of Malawi, even yesterday when the president was talking to the nation, you could see the president there in his eyes, crying indeed, and it's really a tragedy. Yeah, it's really a tragedy. And currently, the other thing that maybe our viewers need to know is that the president has constituted a committee of 11 ministers who are going to to do the processes of the burial of the of this vice president, and this committee constituted is being chaired by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Titus Imvalo, and the other 10 ministers. In this, again, our listeners, our viewers, and our listeners, they should know that the mourning period is 21 days. So the nation will be mourning the Vice President of Malawi, Dr. Saulos Chilima, in 21 days, and then the burial will take place. Viewers should also know that what does the Constitution of Malawi says currently when this scenario has happened. The Constitution of Malawi, which is Section 84, subsection 2 of the Constitution of Malawi, gives the mandate of the sitting president, the president, to appoint his vice within 7 days. So we should be expecting that within 7 days, a period of 7 days, according to this section 84, subsection 2 of the Constitution of Malawi, we should be expecting that Dr. Lazarus Chakwera to appoint or to announce his vice. That's an insight that I can give maybe currently to our viewers.
All right, Ephraim, I think we're going to leave it there. Really, really tragic news. Our condolences, from South Africa. Malawi is a sister country of ours. We love and really, really, are saddened by what's currently happening there with the loss of Vice President Saulos Chilima. We're going to leave it here for now. And I'm sure if there are any other updates, I will be linking up with you very soon. But it's goodbye for now.
Thank you so much, Salam Media, for making up the follow-ups that you give the viewers what really transpired, rather than, because there are a lot of issues that are circulating in social media, but you have managed to get the resource in Malawi. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, there you have it there, Ephraim Mkali Banda. He's a journalist, a security journalist out in Malawi, giving us insight on that tragic plane crash that claimed the life of Vice President Saulos Chilima and 9 other officials, including generals of the army and also the pilot of the Air Force. They're really, really devastating stuff. Our sincere condolences to our sisters and brothers out in Malawi. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking the news with Sai Chedward right after this.